My name is Brenda McAdam, and I'm part of the Riverwood team, and I also work for Hope Chest Canada, and my title there is Partner Relations Manager. I've had the privilege of having a few sponsored children, but I have one special boy who now goes by the name of Wiseman. I've been sponsoring him since about 2012, and he had a very sad story, as many children do, but he just only had a grandmother who looked after him. He didn't know who his parents were. He had no siblings. And I do distinctly remember being on a home visit, and the grandma said to me, "I don't know what's going to happen to him when I die." And I left feeling very, very heavy-hearted from that home visit. And she actually did die within a couple of years. And then he literally moved from homestead to homestead, just flipped around, and really was just wandering aimlessly. Wasn't doing very well in school, but just always we connected very well every time we were there. And then in 2016, I discovered he wasn't there, that he was in prison. And we didn't know in time for me to be able to go and visit him. But then when they arranged it, so for subsequent years I've been able to go. I went in 2017, and when I saw him, we ran to each other, and he hugged me and said, "I thought I was never going to see you again." My heart just about exploded, because he had no family seeing him. Nobody was seeing him except for one person from the AIM team was visiting him. So we connected. I left him a Bible and a few gifts, found out that I could participate in his monthly fund at the prison so he could buy some clothes and just some regular toiletries. And I've just come back from being there now about an hour ago, and I actually was bawling when I was at the prison. They brought him to me. We had moments of hugging and just rejoicing. He had written me a very special card, which just blew me away, but at the same time I've been wanting pictures of him, but in the prison they won't allow me to take my picture with him. Well, the guards had taken pictures of him, and now I have two special photos of him that were just made my heart so happy. So I have the card and I have the photos of him, and in his time of being in prison he has taught himself to play the piano, and he sings, and he's doing some very forward thinking of how he's going to be able to have an income generating project while he's in prison, so that he has funds when he gets out of prison, so that he can live and continue to go to school. And I was just blown away by just his forward thinking. The guards have said he is the top in their, around there. They just love him. He is a pastor to the other pupils. He leads the Bible studies. He just is such an encourager, and I left there just with a very full heart, looking at all the ways that I can now participate and continue to encourage him as he continues to grow. And for him to just know that I still care about him. I want to be invested in his life. And I know that not all sponsors will have a story that's as dramatic as mine, but I know for an absolute fact that those letters mean so much to those children. Those photos mean so much to those children. And they ask, "Do you know so-and-so? Have you seen so-and-so?" They tell me about your children. They tell me about your family. They tell me all kinds of things about you. So you know those children are grabbing onto everything that you send to them, and it means the world to them. They look for new people each year that to get the bus. Did so-and-so come? Did so-and-so come? And we know that you can't all come. It's not possible. We can't all go, but we can all participate in their lives. We can all send them a letter. We can all send them a special gift, and we can for sure send them photos and tell them what's going on in our world. So if anybody ever was to say they don't think sponsorship works or there's not enough connection, that is not true. I see it year after year after year. Sponsorship works. You may not have the dramatic story that I have, but you will have a story of connecting.
Well, thank you so much, Brenda, for sharing such a remarkable example of how meaningful these connections are between us and our friends in Eswatini. And you know, what's exciting is that even since that video was recorded, Wiseman has taken some further steps in his life. He was released from prison just a couple of months ago, and he's now living in stable housing on his own initiative. He's searched out supports for accountability in his life, and he will be returning to school as soon as they reopen in Eswatini. Well, together we are going to take the month of February to share our love with Eswatini. We're going to share some important stories and updates from our care points, and highlighting the ways that we are partnering with them to build sustainability. And we're going to be inviting all of our sponsors to send their love with a care package and a letter to their special friends in Eswatini. So if you're a monthly sponsor with one of the almost 300 children at our care points, you will receive an email inviting you to join us as we send our love to these kids. This is going to include providing each child with a hygiene kit and food containers, as these have been identified as the biggest needs for them right now. And you will have a chance to write to your child. So please take the time and invest into this. It will have an incredible impact, especially right now as we're unable to travel on our yearly visits to be there in person, and as they journey through the impact of COVID-19 in their country. Well, we know that COVID has widened the gap of equity, not just here at home, but also around the world. And the reality is it has been very pronounced in Eswatini. Child security, food prices. Perhaps the most significant is the full year of education and development that has been lost in a country that's already struggling. These are significant issues that will have a long-term impact. And we're doing everything we can to support them through this, but the reality is we cannot solve all of these issues, even with financial investments. We have journeyed with our two communities through many struggles and tragedies over the years, and we have seen such remarkable resiliency and growth and empowerment, and we remain more committed than ever to journeying with them through these difficult days and supporting however we can. Well, my encouragement to each of you, church, my invitation is to take time this week to pray for Eswatini. The current impact of COVID is rising and it is significant. Let us stand with them in our solidarity through practical support, but also in joining together with fervent prayer. And we look forward to sharing all month long as we love Eswatini. All right, well, let's continue on our trip around the world as we head further south.